Hi there, and welcome to the last day of the Health, Wealth, and Happiness Challenge. I gotta tell you what, it's 6:30 in the morning, and I talked about sleep, and even 2 years ago, I would have never been awake at 6:30 in the morning. I would roll out of bed at 8, 9 o'clock. I'd be tired. I'd probably be up playing, one of my favorite games at the time was Battlefield 3 on my computer. But today, and every day, the first thing that I do is I get up and I look at a daily plan. And it's really important that of everything we've gone over, when you really want to put things into play and you're clear about your purpose, present in the moment, thinking about happiness, all these kind of things, is that you have control of your agenda and you lay out your day before you start. One of the things that really helped me as I went through high performance training was understanding that I have to be in control of my agenda. And that's down to the way I take care of emails and making sure that I don't sit there on the email drip, as it's called, where you're waiting for the next email to handle it and those kind of things, or waiting for the next text message. So I divide my day up into 3 chunks and essentially I time block each of those chunks. And it's really important to me, if you really want to gain clarity around happiness and really reaching out to the world with your purpose, that you're clear about what you're trying to produce. And in my world, I understand from what we talked about in happiness that there's the learn part, the create part, and the share part. So that's how I divide my day up. And since my birthday this year, I went through and I said, every day I want to make sure that I'm gaining mastery. So I take 2 hours a day, and that works for me, to go through and learn something new. So I get into all these mastery courses online, making sure that I'm learning for the internet business, because obviously that changes very, very much all the time. That I'm learning something new every day that I can take to my team and give them the overview on. Yesterday in our team meeting, we talked about being fabulous, and that's features, advantages, benefits, fab. And what we talked about was the idea that when you describe a feature, that's the tactical part. And then the advantage is the benefit to the reader or the listener, if they're listening through a podcast or watching a video or something like that. And then the benefit is actually towards how it helps the world. And when you think about messaging in that way, it's really, really important, because it helps resonate with the audience, whoever's reading it, to see that feature, advantage, benefit, that particular light. Just through my mastery training, I've been able to get clarity around that. And that's something that I learned, I'd say 2 months ago with Andy Jenkins, which is one of the great internet marketers online today. But it's really important to me that the learn part of my day usually happens first. Then after lunch or so, usually it's about 11, 12, maybe 1, I have the create part of my day where I go through and I create worksheets and workbooks and go through and work with my internet services group company to do proposals and do the mind work for that, like accounting and those kind of things. And then usually the last part of my day is where I go through and share. And obviously today, one of the biggest distinctions Google's made in the last few months is that it's really important to take content that you've created and share it. That helps in the rankings in Google. Not to get too much on the internet side for you, but it kind of falls right into these buckets, what I'm talking about. So for me, this works, and I'm really down the road of mastery in terms of how I control my day. But what I thought I'd do today for you is, first of all, go through and show you exactly what my day looks like through my How I Serve document. This is a document I created as I work through high performance coaching that keeps me focused on exactly what I'm doing and how I'm going to serve today. So every day that I get up, I already have a plan for how I want to go through the day. It's really important, though, you understand this. If life shows up, I go through and handle it. For example, I came back from Chicago on a business trip, went through and I gave a presentation to a bunch of really wonderful auctioneers, and got back and was planning on the end of that week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, going through and shooting some of these videos, these day-to-day health, wealth, and happiness videos. But the reality was my daughter Paige had appendicitis and ended up being in the hospital for about 4 days, and she's fine. It was actually a ruptured appendix. If you follow me on Facebook, you probably saw how that all played out. She recouped so fast, it was amazing. But nonetheless, life showed up. And it's when you're in the high performance world and when you're in the world of really getting it at the high level of production and all the things we talk about, you just know when life shows up, you handle it. But the moment that was done, however long it took, I got right back into my agenda, making sure that I was learning, creating, and sharing. The cool part was I had it out there, so I had a plan in play the moment I was able to do that. Does that make sense? I really hope it does, because that's the part that used to be so frustrating for me. I'd think, oh, I have to take care of this because it's robbing me of the time that I want to go and create. Now it's kind of like, you know what? Life showed up. I'm okay. I'm going to handle this. I'm going to be present in the moment, and I'm not going to let it derail me from getting back to what I need to do. The same thing applies in exercise. I was doing a coaching session with one of my individual one-on-one clients the other day, and I said, you know, when I go on vacation, traditionally when I went on vacation, that's where things got thrown sideways from exercise and eating right. Now I go on vacation and I try to run wherever I'm at, and I gotta tell you, it's a great experience. I was running in Europe, and it was like, wow, this is cool. Smelling all the different scents and everything as you go through and do that. But hopefully that helps you. It's when you have that plan in play that works out really well towards creating and towards reaching out and knowing, you know, I talked about this yesterday, that you're on the planet for a short amount of time. You really want to make sure every moment you have is spent in a good way, if possible, with great people. And that's really where I'm at. So what I want to ask you is this. Do you have a clear set of objectives today that are living towards your purpose? Meaning you're going through, you know exactly what you need to do today to create, share, learn, whatever it takes in your space. Or are you letting the world determine your agenda? Really important you know the distinction there. All right, now for the 3 distinctions for today, your daily plan. The first, use time blocking. Make sure you're in control of your agenda and you have everything laid out of what you want to accomplish. The second one is do what's called having a to-do list, the number 2 do list. Take care of the first 2 or 3 things that are the hardest, that are the things that you procrastinate about. Just knock them out of the park first. You're going to feel so much better about your day. I like to thank my good friend Heather for talking about to-do lists back in 2005, I think it was, when I did business coaching. She said, go ahead and do that. Some people call it eat the frog, and my good friend Lee Knapp talks about that. And it's just get those things that you're just procrastinating on, get them right out of the way first thing of the day. You're going to feel awesome moving through the rest of your day because it's a great way to start. And the third is to always make sure that you keep in mind life shows up. And when life shows up, take it and say, you know what? I'm going to be in the moment here and I'm going to enjoy whatever this is. Whatever challenge is in my way, I'm going to handle it. But the moment life's done showing up, like with my daughter with her appendicitis, that you're back on track with your plan. That's the biggest thing that I learned, I'd say, maybe 2 years ago now, maybe more like a year and a half ago, was that when life showed up, I got really kind of mad that it was harming me from going through and doing what I wanted to do. So now I just say, you know what, hey, life showed up. And that saying of life shows up really helps me to get through that particular event, especially if it's not that pleasant. But it was okay with Paige sitting in the hospital. We had so much fun. She's such a little sweetheart. She's like, Dad, thanks so much for being with me. We were snuggling and all that. If you saw my pictures on Facebook and Instagram, you'd know that we made the best of it. We had some really great times, and it was, you know, I just think back to even 5 years ago when I wasn't nearly as knowledgeable about being present, being in the moment, and I just know that I wouldn't have had that experience and made the fun that we did out of that. All right, so we're at the end of the 10-day challenge, and I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I hope that I brought clarity for you. More than that, I hope that you've gotten a little bit more energy from maybe sleeping a little better, or hydrating a little better, eating a little better, exercising a little bit more, all the different things that we've covered. And it's really important to me to know this. First of all, if you want to go deeper on everything that we've talked about, I have my workbook. Feel free, there's a link below, you can get that if you want it. The other thing is, if you want to go and get extreme clarity around all the things we've talked about and go into the high performance world, let me know, because I do group coaching and I also do one-on-one coaching where I take people through these 12 sessions that I've been blessed to do, being a certified high performance coach, to bring ultimate levels of clarity. Just let me know below if you want to get into that. If you don't, always know you can come back and watch these videos whenever you want to. It's really important to me that you get perspective. And the thing that I've learned over time is this. The first time I hear something, it's kind of like a high level, oh yeah, it kind of makes sense. The second time, it sinks in a little bit more, and it's like the third, fifth, 10th, those times where I really get the clarity. And that's kind of how I laid this out, so that you can bookmark these videos if you want to and come back on whatever area you need the clarity in, and go through and read the comments too, to kind of keep that perspective and that sense of community. And if you make any forward motions on any of the stuff that we've talked about, that you're able to get the clarity there too and share it with the community. Works out real well. So with that, I want to end on the note of me reviewing my daily plan. I'm just going to show you the screenshot of everything I set up for today. It's just a typical day in my life where I have the learn, create, share boxes. And then in the document, I also have a page of all the stuff, high priority, low priority, that I'm going to be learning. I also have a page for creating. And I also have a page for sharing and the things that I want to do in that space. I'm taking out some of the information because it's sensitive, confidential things, but I'll give you the overview. And you know what else I'm going to do, I think? I'll go through and save the file without anything in it as a PDF, just so that you can leverage it, if you want to kind of lay out a day. Just give it a try. You know, that's the thing about everything that we're doing here. If you try it for a couple days, it works out real well. That's what happened with me when I started to change my lifestyle, or try to change my lifestyle in terms of what I ate. I would try it for 2 or 3 days and then go back to my old way, if you will. But I would think about, could I do that? And it would take a week or two, kind of simmering on my mind, and I would think, you know, I can definitely do that. I think that I could really put that in play in my life. And for me, and I don't know if it's like this for you, but the visualization of me trying it once, seeing the reality of it, and then going back, thinking about it and saying, can I do that even more? That's how I kind of bumped over that barrier of the 5 or 6 days a week where I eat really healthy, and I continue to do that now. Now I don't have to say that I eat really healthy, I just do. It was just making sure that I had that in play, that mentality in play, but I visualized it first. Knowing that I always had my day per week, and I still do it, where I go out and just hammer it, old school. I love lasagna, I love Wendy's burgers, I love pizza. Downtown House of Pizza in Fort Myers is one of my favorites. Jet's Pizza, we just had this on Sunday, and man, when I ate that pizza, I was like, oh, this is good. Well, anyway, I think that's about it for now. I just can't believe how far we've come, and I want to say thanks again for everything. So take care, have a wonderful time, and I hope I helped you out. Love to see you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the other things that are out there. See what you're up to. Take care. Bye-bye.